Mesopotamia, often regarded as the cradle of civilization, brimming with untold stories and adventures waiting to be unearthed. Many relics of Mesopotamia's past have fallen victim to conflict and desecration, caught in the crossfire of the religious tensions in the area. Yet amidst the turmoil, there are glimmers of hope. Some remarkable discoveries have managed to survive and be showcased, such as Lamassu. This mythical creature, deeply ingrained in the fabric of ancient civilizations, but have also pressed forward into the Judeo-Christian Islamic worldview. It has stood as a symbol of protection in every household during its time and beyond into the modern day. It's time to discover the truth behind why it did. For generations, humans have been telling stories, tales, and legends about creatures found all around the world. From the griffin to the chupacabra, and from the leviathan to the Chinese dragon. It's high time we set out an adventure to learn about them all. This is an expedition for the mythological. Welcome to Mytho Safari. I built there a palace with halls of cedar, cypress, juniper, boxwood, teak, terebinth, and tamarisk as my royal dwelling, and for the enduring leisure life of my lordship, beasts of the mountain and the seas, which I had fashioned out of white limestone and alabaster, I had set up in its gates. I made it the palace, fittingly imposing. This was the common inscription placed on most of the relics describing the Ashurnasirpal palace. The stone beasts set up within those palaces were none other than the famous mythological beast, Lamassu. Before we continue, I want to remind you guys to subscribe and turn on those notifications. Also, join the channel and become a member. It'll go a long way to helping us continue making incredible content just like this. The Lamassu is a very interesting mythological beast. It is most well known for its depictions during the Assyrian Empire under the rule of the Assyrian king Ashurnasirpal and King Sargon II. And just for reference, the Assyrian Empire would be the equivalent to present-day Iraq, Kuwait, Syria, and Turkey. During this time came the most famous depiction of Lamassu, a human-headed lion adorned with wings. The Lamassu was understood to have the head of a human, body of a lion or that of a bull, bird-like wings, and 5 legs. Originally, however, the Lamassu was depicted differently. Before the time of the Assyrian Empire, before it was the mythical beast we know from the Assyrian, Lamassu was actually a goddess called Lama. She was known for the protection and mediation between ones who pray and the divine, kind of like a bridge between worlds. A connection deity of the holy and the one who desires holiness. Evidence of Lama's worship surfaces in archaeological findings, such as depictions discovered in Uruk. This portrayed the goddess with uplifted hands in prayer. Ironically though, over time, the Assyrians reshaped Lama from a goddess of protection into the mythical beast we know today as Lamassu, a hybrid entity embodying both divine and earthly attributes. This transformation notably entailed a gender shift, as the female deity Lama suddenly assumed a male identity under the Assyrians, and thus this mythological beast Lamassu was born. In ancient Assyrian culture, the Lamassu was revered as the embodiment of the zodiacs, representing the entirety of life within them. Its symbolism was profound. The human head with the bull's horns inferred high levels of intelligence, while the lion or bovine body signified strength or ferocity. And finally, the eagle wings symbolized freedom. It became the symbol of protection, not only for kings and palaces, but also for the general public of ancient Mesopotamia. Renowned for its protective qualities, the Lamassu often stood guard in pairs at entranceways. The notion of 2 guardians at sacred or significant locations is an interesting theme we see not only in the old myths, but also in current ones like the food dog we spoke about in previous videos from ancient China. As majestic as this beast was, you might have noticed something that seems a bit odd from his depictions. If you look closely, you'll notice that the sculpture has 5 legs. Now, why is that? Lamassu's extra leg is actually meant to give a double aspect to the viewers who are looking at its sculpture, causing the sculpture to appear as both standing and walking at the same time. This happens when it is viewed from either the front or the side respectively. It's actually an optical illusion. What an absolutely fantastic feature to give to a mythological beast that was believed to have been the guardian against evil spirits. Strong, firm, and immovable against his foes, while he is looked at standing tall and mighty. And while Lamassu is looked at from the sides, he embodies swiftness, to move at a moment's notice, keeping the evil spirits at bay if they try to sneak around him. To think that the ancient cultures like those of the Fertile Crescent had such forward-thinking mentalities in artistic depictions that they managed to figure out a design that embodied both movement and stillness into their craft. It's absolutely amazing. And it's very telling about just how intricate the people of Mesopotamia were. As well, some of the statues found of Lamassu had pierced ears of a bull, which many are unsure of its significance or if there was any at all. Lamassu was a common household piece as well, used for the protection against evil spirits in the household. These pieces were made of clay and usually buried under the door's threshold, and of course done so in pairs of 2. But the Lamassu's humble origins would eventually ascend to a more lavish lifestyle. From its modest beginnings, it ascended to regal status, guarding the entrance of sacred temples and palaces, and found in all forms from modest clay creations to towering statues. The Lamassu assumed its role as a guardian of cities, palaces, and revered sanctuaries. The Lamassu became an iconic figure not just in Mesopotamian beliefs, but also in many other well-known religions such as Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. In ancient Judaism, Ezekiel, a descendant of Joshua, wrote about the cherub, in Hebrew, karub, derived from the word karibu, meaning one who blesses. In Judaism, the cherub is known for being the protector of the Garden of Eden. A cherub was described as having the body of a lion or an ox, 4 faces, and each with 4 wings. As well, in Judean Christian Islamic faith, the Ark of the Covenant, aka the Holy of Holies, the structure used to hold the tablets that the Hebrew prophet Moses brought down from the Mount Sinai and later used in the holy Jewish temples known as Beit HaMikdash in Hebrew or Beit HaMakdis in Arabic, located both in Shiloh and in Jerusalem in Israel, was adorned with 2 cherubs, signifying just how holy and important these creatures were. And strictly in Islam, a cherub is known as Al-Muqarrabin, referring to the highest angel closest to God himself. It is described in Islam that the cherubim are the 7 archangels, and many other divine presences are also considered to be cherubim. The legacy of the cherub or Lamassu carries on in popular culture till this very day. With quite a stroke of luck, we possess valuable information, and even some surviving relics and sculptures of the Lamassu today. All this despite the destruction brought upon them by the militant jihadi group known as ISIS or ISIL. It is truly heartbreaking that this group orchestrated the obliteration of numerous invaluable pieces of historical heritage, particularly the iconic Lamassu statue. They did this while targeting sites of Mesopotamian and Babylonian history during the rampage of Iraq, Syria, and the Levant. One of the most well-known incidents occurred on March 5, 2015, when they laid waste to Nimrud, an ancient Assyrian city which roots date back to 13th century BC, and it is even mentioned in the Judeo-Christian Bible. Among the tragic losses was the destruction of the palace where a magnificent Lamassu statue once guarded the entrance gates. It has been reduced to just mere fragments today. Modern-day extremist Islamic occupation of holy sites continues to be a common threat around the Middle East, and most notably across the sites of ancient Mesopotamia, risking the erasure of indigenous peoples' culture and history. And part of the goal of this channel is to keep them alive no matter what happens to the material source. I hope you guys choose to subscribe to this channel and join to become a member. It'll go a really long way to supporting us and help us make more amazing videos just like this. We'll see you on the next safari. Goodbye.